All right, just got into the hall here. Day 3. Up a little later than I want to be in the hall here, because we're up a little later last night celebrating the innie win. Had to go celebrate with the team, or some of the team that made it possible. So getting a little slow start today. I've got some more videos set up. We're going to try and do the game jam thing. Met somebody last night at the Innies that I'm going to try and game jam with. I don't, it's going to be a great way to meet somebody, I guess. Figure out what kind of a game that you can make together. Let's see what else is on the deck for the day. I don't know. We're almost sold out of Assassin Citadel already, and then it's going to get some mini heat. So, good luck to the first few people at the booth. I think that's it for now. I'm going to try and get into the hall, get my bag down, and then try and hook up with some of these people that I'm going to be trying to game jam with. So, into day 3. Just started. All right, I've come over here to the IGDN booth again, and this time I'm talking to Jess Geyer, who is the president of the IGDN. So, Jess, do you want to give a little pitch for what the IGDN does?
Yeah, the IGDN is a not-for-profit organization with all of our member publishers, Matt included, myself included. We gather our resources so we can come to places like Gen Con, which is prohibitively expensive for someone like me.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not. It's not cheap. So we gather our resources. We do things like bringing books to conventions for our members. We also have our own awards ceremony called the Indie Groundbreaker Awards. We have the Metatopia Diversity Sponsorship, which brings marginalized creators. It gives them, right now, a cash prize, although it used to be sending them to the Metatopia when it was in person, sending them to playtest their games, giving them mentorship support. We do a lot of great programs here at the IGDN.
Awesome. And have you been looking at the numbers? What's the hit of the con for the Indie Game Developer Network? Whose books are tops this year?
Well, it's hard to say because we sell like a little bit of everything, but the last I heard, like our biggest sellers were Shanty Hunters, Velvet Generation was selling a lot, and Thousand Arrows. Thousand Arrows has this beautiful map that they have like a lot of extra stuff. Oh my gosh, like they have this beautiful setup here. But we have a lot of amazing games, and they're all doing pretty well. I'm stoked about this year.
Yeah, this is like in general, the vibe of the hall has been that like this is real Gen Con, whatever that means. It means lots of people, lots of like sales, lots of like you can't move. It takes you 20 minutes to go get a drink of water because the line is just so packed.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you've been seeing that on this row as well.
I have been seeing it here. It is definitely much more crowded, like in the center of the convention hall. We don't get as many people kind of coming through because we have this lovely emergency exit only door here that kind of like it nice funnels people away a little bit, which I prefer not to be swarmed by a bunch of people. Like I saw the Free League table, for example, where I couldn't even elbow in to say hello. It wasn't working.
Well, I guess it's pluses and minuses to everything.
Well, right? I also might not have ever been here during the crowdiest. Is that a word? The crowdiest times of the day.
You can coin words.
Yeah, crowdiest.
All right. Well, I wish you the crowdiest day yet because
Thank you.
I hear the tickets are all sold out for Saturday only.
They are.
So hope you do good business again. And
you too.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll see you around on the internet. Oh wait. Speaking of the internet, where can people find the IGDN on the internet?
You can find us at igdnonline.com. Very easy to remember. Put the online in there, though.
Yeah. All right, Jess, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you, Matt.
All right, I'm still over here at the IGDN booth, and I have James Kerr here. James, hello.
Hello. Nice to see you, Matthew.
So, did you tell me that yesterday that this was your first Gen Con?
No, it's my second, but the last one was in the before times, before the pandemic, so 5 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a while. So, what have you thought of the what's it like to be back after a gap like that? If you do a lot of cons, you kind of get inured to it. But like, if you've been away, what was it like?
Madness. It's madness. It's complete chaos here. But we have lots of great, interesting people running through these halls, and I love that I can make some nerdy references and people get it. I feel very understood, but overwhelmed by the crowd.
All right, and you're a member of the IGDN, and you've got a publication here. Would you want to talk to me about it for a moment?
I am. I'm a member, and I'm also the membership coordinator. So I encourage everyone else to be a member. So I get to be a member and everyone else. And I'm the author of Fight to Survive: Role-Playing Martial Arts Meets Heart, which is a 20th century martial arts role-playing game. It's a weird one, it's diceless, it's multi-generational, it's packs a punch.
Yeah, packs a punch. Great line. So tell us some of those words. So it's multi-generational. We'll start with the 20th century martial arts. So what does that mean? Is that like...
It means I'm trying to capitalize and capture the spirit of, late 20th century American martial arts films like Bloodsport, but also the sadder ones like Charles Bronson's Hard Times, and the cheesier ones like Walter Hill's Streets of Fire, and trying to bring it all into a one prolonged saga. And every game is between 1 and 3 years of a generation, and so you move through generations, as you move through time, as you explore the 20th century, fighting for what you believe in, or just fighting, and in the end, it's all about heart.
Yeah, you don't have it on today, but yesterday you had a Cobra Kai hat on, so that's when you say
it's over there.
Yeah, when you say generational, is that like when you move from generation to next? Is it generation of the
martial lineage? Yeah,
you learned from this person who learned to teach to this person.
Yes, so
and
like
the rivalries continue and something like that.
The rivalries and the revenge and the spirit of it continues on through the ages. Whether or not your successor is your child or your best karate student or your former rival or whatever, and it continues on down the line.
All right, I think I got a little sense of it. So one more question about the game then. It's diceless, so is there any conflict resolution mechanic at all, or
Absolutely.
Is it purely narrative?
I say diceless and people get skittish, except for the few people who are really, really into diceless. But
there's so many other things in dice. It could be cards, it could be coin flips. So tell me about it.
Yeah, well, this is in Eric Wujcik's sentiment an entirely randomless game. So it uses two forms of conflict resolution. One is stat comparison against a target number.
The guy that hits harder is going to win the fight.
And the second one is it uses a series of escalating moves. So I punch the guy, and no, I'm going to kick the guy, and I'm going to grab the guy, as it progresses along, and you compare those moves, and then it resolves the round, and you find out who gets hit.
Okay, all right. That sounds. I like that. I'm intrigued by that. I've always been intrigued by Amber, which is, you mentioned Eric Wujcik, so that's like...
I do have a deep love of the mechanics and sensibility of Amber, but this is probably crunchier than Amber is.
But it's in the DNA, right? We're all inspired by the past generations of the martial artists who have come before us.
The past generations of tabletop role-playing game developers inform my martial lineage.
All right. Well, it sounds very intriguing. Thank you for talking to me about it. Where can people find more about you on the internet if they'd want to do so?
People can go to radiojamesgames.com.
Attention Gen Con exhibitors, the exhibit hall will be opening in 15 minutes.
All right, well that's a sign to hurry up, I guess. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
Say it again because it's the interruption.
Thank you very much, Matthew.
No. The place, the internet.
You can find my games, my stuff, and Fight to Survive at radiojamesgames.com.
Thank you so much, James.
Yay.
All right, I've come over here to the Limathron booth.
Matey.
Yeah, they invited me to step in for a second here. So Tell me how's the show been for you?
Oh
What you
man,
got?
it's been awesome. We are this is like the pre-release for Pirate Board, which comes out on Free League. Talk Like a Pirate Day, September 19th.
Oh, right.
And we're doing like a big in-store, like worldwide thing for that, where you can like get free stuff and play Pirate Board in the store. So that's really exciting.
Awesome.
I've been on like 3 panels and a bunch of press interviews.
Oh, well, you're just busy.
Dude, yeah. And
busy.
last night was my 40th birthday party, and my wife flew in, didn't tell me she was coming.
Well, that's a nice surprise.
Had a bunch of people. I mean, we like took over the lobby of this. It was fun. So
Happy birthday.
Pirate times,
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
40 is a good year.
Yeah, it's going great so far.
Awesome.
Best year of my life.
It's no problems yet.
Not yet.
So what do you got anything new at the show that you want to talk about? Or
Yeah.
you got,
Well, we're like I said,
other than the
books coming out,
your main big thing.
But I guess the biggest thing is we've got Buried in Bahamas, which is an introductory adventure for Pirate Board. It is designed to kind of like help get you going. It's got GM notes to like kind of point you in the right direction, which is a little out of the norm for OSR stuff. But
Yeah.
people seem to really like it. So that's like our newest thing.
Yeah, GMing is so hard as it is.
Yeah.
It's good to give some people a stepladder like that.
Yeah, even little things are like, they're all the notes are in gray, so it'll just be like, describe the room, then it'll be like, don't tell them this until this. Just little sentences like that can really like change the way the whole thing encounters.
Well, I mean, this isn't where I plan to go with this, but like so many people I've heard that like they don't feel like they can role play because they've watched like professional actors role play. And so
that's
like
not true.
It's not true, but like people feel that, so they're coming into the hobby, they're excited about it, but they're unsure about it. So like I think that's a great sort of like way to get people to realize, no, you really can do this. You don't have to have like a funny voice.
You definitely don't have to
for every character.
And you can also role play just by like describing instead of doing. And then work up to it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you've been getting out of the hall? Are you getting out of the booth?
No.
I mean,
other than the panels and stuff.
Yeah.
We had a third-party Morkborg panel yesterday, and then the Free League showcase was the day before that. And then I did like a play with a designer 3-hour game in the morning. So I've been here mostly.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you if you've seen any cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know my buddies over at Archon Games have a bunch of new cool stuff. They're getting into the RPG world now instead of just board games.
All right.
But I'm sure there's a lot out there. I just haven't seen it yet. So.
All right. Well, appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time today.
Yeah, sure.
And hope you have the rest of the show. It's good for you.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. And congratulations on wedding Annie last night.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Maybe Morkborg will be up there next time.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yep. Wah 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 wah. Wah 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 wah.
All right, I've come across the street from the convention center here to meet with James Mendez Hodes.
Hey, what's good? Thank you for meeting me.
Yeah, it's nice to see you in person. I was just telling you that I've seen your name on a lot of product. I've seen your face on like the other side of a video call before. But I've never seen you in person, so it's nice to sit at a bench and talk to you.
Yeah, it's great to meet you in person. That's mostly what I'm doing this con. I actually don't have a badge.
This is the dirty secret.
Yeah. I'm not actually going in the hall. I'm just wandering around and meeting people because that's usually what I do at Gen Con anyway. So that's been really fun, actually. Nothing on the schedule except for like meetings outside the con. So that's been really fun. We did a whole martial arts thing right here in the park earlier today.
Cool,
that was lots of fun. Yeah.
With like a organized meetup, or was it like a come and catch as you can, people coming by?
So that's often what I do with the martial arts events at conventions. But this time there were a couple of people I'd talked to who wanted to fight, so we just.
So it's more like a demonstration type.
No, it was kind of a. Lesson.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was someone else there who's done Wing Chun recently, and so I wanted to learn their like sticky hands exercises, and then we started with that, and then we workshopped some MMA relevant stuff for someone else who had been she'd been having trouble with like a specific issue in some of her fights, so we started workshopping solutions to that based on like Wing Chun and based on the stuff that I'd done. So that was all really helpful.
Well, that's amazing. I've been in the hall playing games and talking about games, and you're out here doing martial arts. That's amazing.
It's my favorite thing. Well, or I have a lot of favorite things about conventions. It's one of my favorite things about conventions is that I get to meet people from other styles, and then that allows me to like keep my perspective open and really like diversify my understanding of what a fight looks like.
Yeah.
And it's also just really nice being able to connect, with your fists and emotionally with someone who has done something that's like similar but from a completely different tradition.
Yeah, I am not a martial artist at all, so I only intellectually understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
I do not but I can imagine the impact, the power of that, of like you say, connecting through a match where you're trying to actually physically also connect with someone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's both symbolic and actual.
Yeah, and that's really why I keep coming back to martial arts. It's like being good at fighting is fine, but learning from other people and seeing how like cultural traditions and history have influenced the way that someone fights and the differences between how they fight and how you fight, like that's the part that like keeps me coming back to classes.
So, obviously, I'm a guy who is grown up in America, watched a lot of media that's made in this continent. Mm-hmm. So, The Quest is coming to mind as you're talking.
Okay.
It was a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where they had a bunch of martial artists, there's a sumo wrestler versus a kickboxer in one of the fights, and like, of course, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or not the Belgian guy wins at the end, of course, because it's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Of course, yeah.
But the matchups between the completely different fighting styles that are part of that film were memorable to me.
Yeah.
So sounds
well,
like you were watching different media than that.
Well, I mean, that did really happen with the early UFC promotions in the 90s, which I know only from like history videos, but it was mostly Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu folks who were organizing those, and then surprise, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu won. But that did actually happen in some of the early origin of the UFC. Like nowadays, mixed martial arts is mostly, almost everyone who does mixed martial arts does a competitive style, which is custom tailored for those kinds of competitions, where the competition has like a specific format, there's a specific kind of scoring, and if you want to succeed in that, you have to train directly for it. What I hope to do with these kinds of meetups is open up the paradigm of combat to people who might have had a different background, who are coming to it from either like a hobby interest perspective, who aren't professionals or who haven't gotten to fight against people from different styles before, or who come from styles with different emphases, which might be there are styles which have like religious inflections even. There are other styles which are focused on self-defense in either civilian or military situations or street situations. Sure. And I like to be able to find the commonalities and find the things that we can work on together. So
this is like a softball. You've set me up for my next question here. Because I do want to change it, transition to talking about games a little bit. I love hearing people who do stuff outside of games and like the ways in which the game work that they do is overlaps. What's the Venn diagram between like I do mixed martial arts and I get together and learn other styles with people at a park across from the convention center. And what's the middle of that with also game design? And it sounds like it's going to be the same stuff you were just talking about. But I don't want to I want you to answer it.
Oh yeah, well a couple of the games that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because they've come up. It's award season, so they've come up in award shows. Are Thousand Arrows, which is my game about Japan during the Warring States period in about 1580. So a lot of what I've studied in Japanese martial arts is represented in that game, and my particular perspective on that history, both real history and the sort of exaggerated legendary that every martial art has about its own origin and its own history. Both of those things are in that game.
Yeah.
So that was nominated for an indie groundbreaker this past weekend. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then yesterday night was the Ennies and Avatar Legends.
I mean, that's the real cake here.
Yeah. So and Avatar Legends is much more, because being based on Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, has a lot more like direct martial arts content and a lot more. There's a lot more emphasis on like one-on-one fighting, as opposed to in a samurai context where you don't want to get into duels. You want to have 1,000 guys who work for you go and shoot your enemies in a field.
Right.
But Avatar Legends has a lot more martial arts content, being based on the, in my opinion, greatest martial arts show ever on television. It was great to be nominated. It was great to win. We won Gold Ennies for Best Family Game and also for Best Rules, that was very cool, because
we were sitting there watching that come up, and it's like, I mean, I know Julian, I know Sen, and I know you. I've worked in close, not perfect. I don't think I've edited your work or anything like that, or you've edited mine, but like we've been on the same project.
Yeah, definitely.
But then like all the other names on the list,
Yeah.
I know Sharang, I know all of these people, and so I'm like, how could it lose? How can it lose when you put up that wall of names?
Yeah.
How can it lose? You're all so stinking talented.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I mean, the Ennies are a popularity contest. Anyone can vote. So Avatar has a lot of reach, and that was a big part of it.
Sure.
But winning Best Rules was particularly, I guess, surprising and impactful, because I don't think of myself as having made up the rules of Avatar Legends. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, so I feel like Megan Vince Baker and Avery Alder made up these rules.
But every hack is a new creation.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
So take your accolades and wear them with pride.
Yes. So I was very happy to win that, and I was very happy to shout out Danielle and Sharang and Julian and Sen. Sen is here somewhere.
I
really
have
busy.
seen him in passing.
Yeah.
He can confirm he's here.
So that was really great. I got to shout out my playtesters, Mary Rose Valentine, Ella McZura, Lloyd Gann, who also won for Rivers of London.
Oh yeah.
Which is great. Lloyd Gann and Yunsu again.
Right.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, Ella McZura, Mary Rose Valentine, Lloyd Gann, Yunsu Julian Kim were my playtest group, and that, like, they weren't just playtesters. They were a huge part of my design perspective and a huge part of what ended up being in Avatar as a system. So I was really happy to be able to recognize them and to shout out everybody in the Asian community who'd been having these conversations about, like I said, the stories others tell about us versus the stories we tell about ourselves.
You said that last night, and it's such a powerful like summation. I told you that you kind of have your own brand, and I think if you had a brand, that's
thank you.
That's the brand that you've really put your flag in, and like what you just said.
Thank you. But yeah, like that's not just me. That's me like sitting and listening to other people in the community and hearing their conversations, and then also having the same bad conversations sometimes. Having the same conversations about honor and orcs and katanas on Twitter every 6 months like clockwork. Which I appreciate that discourse also. The discorks, the orcs. Yeah.
And he makes puns.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. But I love orcs. I will always love orcs. Happy to have conversations about orcs. Just sometimes they get repetitive. But all of those community conversations that have been going on since long before Avatar Legends started, those are a huge part of the design. And they're also a huge part of the design of other Asian themed games that I make, like Thousand Arrows, or like content about East or South Asian religion that I've put in games like Scion, or all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah. That's you're very prolific as well as talented. So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else that you want to shout out about the con, or somebody? Yeah, I know you haven't been in the hall, so I'm going to ask you about that. But like, what else have you got planned? We're at the end of day 3 now. So you got anything exciting planned for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's mostly going to be travel probably, but I wanted to shout out Melly Doucette and the Demiplane team, who are working on the virtual tabletop tools for Avatar Legends, and I got to meet them in person for the. Melly specifically in person for the first time after mostly talking with her about Interview with the Vampire on Twitter. And everyone go see Interview with the Vampire. It's great.
Oh, it's the new one.
Yeah, the new one.
So thumbs up, thumbs down. Like it's
Interview with the Vampire is amazing and beautiful. It's really thought-provoking, and it's just amazing how like hour-long episode after hour-long episode you feel like, how are they going to be able to top this? And it just goes back and forth between these beautiful meditations on race and sexuality and how those things affect our identities and how they make us feel like monsters or make us feel human. And then also
those are all the themes you've worked on.
Yeah, and then they go back and forth between that and like dudes making out while floating a meter in the air. Yeah, so...
All right, I did not know it contained that.
Oh, so, yeah, it's just...
But I'm not surprised.
Yeah, perfect balance between, like, camp and, like, actually serious stuff. Don't watch Mayfair Witches. Mayfair Witches is terrible. But, so Melly and I talked about that show and stuff a lot. So I got to meet her for the first time. I got to meet Lynn Codega for the first time. I got to meet Grant Howitt in person for the first time, who I'm working with on Eat the Reich, which is an upcoming game about vampires. Vampires devouring Nazis.
That's a good name for a game like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's feels very cathartic these days.
Excellent.
So yes, that's all been really fun. So I'm so glad for all of the people who I got to meet in person for the first time, including you. And this has been, in spite of not going in the hall and in spite of the great anxiety that I always feel about award shows, I've had a really, really good time here, and I've got to spend it all with my friends.
I'm so glad. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I would hug you if I'm not holding the mic and a thing right now.
We'll hug after. You'll have to assume we
hug
hugged.
after.
Yeah.
Okay. James, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for
recording this little bit with
bringing me in.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure to meet you and talk with you.
Thanks.
And we're gonna hug now, everybody.
All right. Peace.
Oh, I should look at myself. So I just finished up. I don't even know how this is going to look this late. We've just finished up a game of Home with some wonderful people here. I'm going to turn around the camera, and we're all going to share a little bit. You can introduce yourselves and just give a quick little thing and tell us about your Gen Con and overall.
Whoa, I have to go first?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Surprise, you're first.
Yunsu and Doug, what a freaking fantastic game Home is. I had such a blast. Doug, you don't know me, but Yunsu, good to see you again, for you to see me at least. What an absolutely incredible game. We played with an incredible crew, and I don't even know how to describe everything that happened. It was, Bridget knows what I'm going to say. It was very much a Lovecraft meets Stephen King sort of story. Very, very creepy, terrible, awful things, pure dreams in the witch house bullshit, but then all the emotions that you expect with a Stephen King story. So, yeah. So, fantastic. We had a blast, so thank you.
All right, we're going around. Alan, what do you got to say?
Hey there, I'm Alan, and that was fantastic. What a great game. I've had a blast. This has ended my Gen Con on a high note. We've just had a couple of hours of trauma and emotion and manipulation and all the best things you can expect from a horror game. This was superb. Thank you very much for the game, and thanks for running it.
All right, Bridget, you started this. you keep pestering me to play the game at every con, so this time I made it happen for you.
And listen, I am super grateful for it. Hi, everyone. My name is Bridget. Let me tell you what had happened was, as quickly as I can, because I'm exhausted. If you don't know, it's right around 11 p.m. on Saturday night at Gen Con, so you know everyone is super exhausted right now. But I am a writer and a massive backer of Home the RPG, and I have been jumping Matthew's bone every con. Origins, are you going to have it there? Are you going to have it there? Are you going to have it there? He finally said, yes, I'm going to have the game at Gen Con, and I'm willing to run it for you. This was like on Wednesday, so we scheduled it for Saturday night. And then here's what had happened was, I had gone to dinner with my previous colleague and friend, Alan, and some guy named Andrew, who you may or may not be speaking to. That guy. We go to P.F. Chang's, we have an absolutely amazing dinner, and I leave my credit card on the table. I get a frantic set of phone calls from Alan, because he's from Australia, so he doesn't have my phone number. We're just going back and forth. He's like, oh, I have your card, and I'm fat and I'm lazy, and I didn't want to walk to where they were. So they agreed to bring my credit card to me. Well, at this point, I had the absolutely amazing Emmy Award winner Richard Ruane here to play the game, and everyone else bailed on me. So I look at Doc and I look at Alan. I was like, hey, do you want to play this game? And they was like, yeah. And here we are right now at 11 o'clock on a Saturday evening at Gen Con.
Was it 5? We started this a while ago. It was a few hours ago.
It's been 4 hours.
It's been 4 hours. About 4 hours. Yeah.
Has it been 4 hours?
That is incredible, right?
3.5 hours, because I feel like I got here about 7:15 and we finally came upstairs.
Around 7:30. Yeah. So we're like we're in my hotel room right now playing an absolutely stellar game. Matthew, you are the true MVP. Thank you for bringing this experience. The last thing I'll say, at least about this game, if you get some strong storytellers in this game, strap in, because oh my goodness, between the group that I had here, I was watching people narrate like, oh, incredible game. Cannot wait to get my backer copy.
Awesome.
Hi. Not the only any winner in this group. I don't know how I ended up following, Bridget. Never worked with women and animals, fish, whoever it is. Anyway, it really is. Can I just say sincerely, if you can get rid of, it's a great setup. The game sets up excellent. It's got the horror, but it brings you down into the internal emotions, and I think that's where the real horror is. Really enjoyed it. I mean, you've heard the story. Peak Gen Con. Couldn't be happier. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you all for playing, and travel home safe. All you.
You too, babe.
All right. I'm getting ready to leave the hotel room. It's the 4th morning of Gen Con, or 5th morning of Gen Con, if you count it that way. Day 3 was incredible. I got to record an amazing conversation with Mendez, and then I went out last night to play the game, and you've already seen those clips, so it's always about the people, right? I mean, we're here to make the products, we're here to talk about games, talk about physical stuff on a table, but then it's the people you do that stuff with that really makes the hobby and the industry shine. So thank you to everyone who's been able to record with me and giving me some of your time, because getting to talk to you and getting to see your ideas come to fruition in play is one of the gems of the con. I've got some more video that I plan to record today. Of course, it's checkout, so we got to get out of here with the logistics of got to check out from the hotel, but the con doesn't end until 4, and then it's all that stuff for the last day. But it's been a great Gen Con, and looking to end strong. And we'll see you on the floor with some more videos. All right, I've had an artist stop by. Hailee Smith is here at the Wedding Games booth, and this is the 3rd con this year that I've seen Hailee. So we keep running into each other, so you might as well be on my vlog.
Hi. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell us about yourself, what you do.
I am an illustrator and animator based in Indianapolis. I'm also the resident wormologist of Cloud Curio Games.
Wormologist, that's a great title.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm an established worm artist in the in the community. That's Worm with a Y.
Yeah, I was about to clarify.
Yeah, this fall I'll be publishing Book of Worms with Cloud Curio. It's going to be a zine with 6 species of worms that you can throw into any of your games, totally system agnostic, and it'll feature a lot of art and writing by yours truly.
Awesome. So what is the can you tell us about one of the 6 real quick? Or is that surprise for the future?
I have one that's publicly known. It's the bookworm.
I love it.
Yes, they're very goat-like. They like to eat pages of books.
Okay.
And any words that they eat, they retain.
I like
so
that.
they can understand. They can actually speak the words as long as the words are in their stomach.
Okay.
But once they poop them out, they can no longer speak. So it is.
All right.
They're hungry for words all the time.
But like, they can't stop talking like Dickens one day and can't stop talking like
Yeah.
or your fantasy Dickens, your fantasy equivalent of Dickens.
Exactly.
And then they
yeah,
sound,
there's
or I don't know. It's a stream of consciousness poetry the next week because they ate some Kerouac, right?
100% exactly.
All right. Great. Well, where can people sign up for this one for when it comes out?
I am at One Sleepy Beetle on all social media platforms, and you can sign up for my newsletter at HaileeSmith.com/newsletter.
All right, great. So thank you for talking to me, giving me just a couple minutes of your time, and I guess I'll look forward to seeing you at the next show.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, I've taken the time now. We're on the last day. I'm finally gonna talk to the INI award-winning team behind Sesson Citadel. We've been standing here next to each other all weekend, but I haven't talked to you guys officially on the camera. So hello, and tell me all about what your con has been like.
It's been good.
You first.
Okay, yeah, sorry. It's been good. It has been very busy. We haven't been to Gen Con since 2019, so this feels like a very long-awaited reunion. We have met so many people from all over the place, which has been amazing, and old friends and things like that. So it's been really good. It's really good.
Awesome. I'll love to hear that.
Yeah, for myself, genuinely life affirming. I'm always terrified to show up to Gen Con with how big it is, and yet, here we are the last couple hours or so. I know we're going to have to unload, and that's going to suck. But I'm, just thinking I can't wait for the next one.
Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
That's lovely. Yeah. So what is it like to walk up on the stage and get the medal put on your neck? I got to ask about it.
That it was weird. As somebody who's I've never really won an award like that before. I never had a medal or anything growing up. That was my brother's thing for baseball. So it was one of those things that was well, it was just different. It was weird. It was I'm not that afraid of public speaking, obviously, but yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. I just didn't want to make a fool of myself in front of my mom.
Yeah, well, I don't think you did.
Thank you.
What about you? I mean, you had some words for your speech that were significant.
Yeah, I did. I think I fumbled the speech just a little bit, but I did want to make it a point that I, said something at least somewhat meaningful up there, especially after following up with speeches by our friends Tyler Crumme of Possible World Games, Richard Ruane, who did Roosevelt Beach.
There were a lot of good speeches, I think.
Incredible, especially
Not a tear in my eye.
Yeah, with 1979, the last year that everybody was alive.
That's those are harsh words to hear, but it's too true.
Yeah, and the fact that we're all able to make games and those sorts of things that honor our friends and those who've come before us. That's really cool. I think it's a wonderful part of this community.
Attention Gen Con attendees and exhibitors. The time is now 3 o'clock.
Now you know exactly when this is being recorded.
Yes.
Yep.
We're in our final hour.
So now that we're in the final hour, I want to ask if you've seen what's other than the people and the relationships. What cool stuff have you seen in the exhibit hall? You've been out to buy stuff. What's cool that you've seen?
Well, Artist Alley, again, it's phenomenal. One of my favorite artists of all time, Alex Sostios, is here. His stuff's amazing. Conquest Game Minis, they have a Triceratops rider that I want so bad.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, so that's like kind of on my thing.
For myself, I mean, like, at this point, like, I think I'll buy a few games every year, maybe, and then, like, donate a bunch. So, unfortunately, like, products don't grab me as much as they used to, but I do, what does grab me is, like, seeing a bunch of, like, the art that is, like, hanging around, and kind of realize, like, you know, wow, how much has changed in 10 years as far as, like, the aesthetics of what make, like, games and role-playing games. So.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's neat. All right. Well, thank you for your time today. Give us one more time before we leave. Where can people find Feral Indie and the two of you on the internet?
You can always find our stuff at feralindystudios.com or email us at feralindystudio@gmail.com. You can just search our names, Alex Coggon or Charlie Ferguson-Avery. We come up on lots of different websites, but those are you just Google our names. We'll come up.
Thanks for talking to me. Have a great last hour of the show and travel safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live right now.
Exhibit hall will be closing in 5 minutes, promptly at 4 p.m.
All right. Here we are in the last 5 minutes of Gen Con 2023. Josh Heake is here with me. Josh, you've been working the booth for Wet Ink Games.
I have.
You took a break today to go to a knife throwing competition.
I did.
You've seen a lot of other friends in the hall, I'm sure.
I have.
Yeah, so tell me about your Gen Con.
It's my first Gen Con as a freelance creator. It's been crazy. It's been overwhelming. It was incredibly awkward when someone was like, hey, can you sign the thing that you wrote in? I was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with this at all. It's been great. Wedding's awesome. I'm super happy that someone liked the Adventure and Psychic Kids. It's also super fun freelancing and talking to other people who are just like trying to make the stories they want heard and trying to make the thing that they just think is a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's honestly that we need more stuff like that. Like I just want to make a cool game about like
dogs
being a dog. Yeah, being a dog. Yeah. So it's been a good Gen Con.
Cool. So you line up any you got any collaborations you're looking to like make happen? Doesn't have to be with us, but like.
I mean, I'm manically excited to write for Garbage and Glory.
Okay.
Like that wasn't hyperbole. Like I told Brandon, I was like, I'll write the page numbers. I'll write the table of contents. I just want to write chaotic garbage goblins.
I think you're a perfect candidate to write chaotic garbage goblin type stuff. Yeah. So I know you've been in the booth a lot. Have you seen anything in the exhibit floor or been to any panels or anything like that you want to talk about? Do you want to?
I never go to panels because I have ADHD and it's super weird for me.
Okay.
But I mean, I went by Restoration Games. Thunder Road Vendetta is a beautiful game.
I was looking there's a board game thing over there, and I was looking through it. I was like, this art's great. And I was like, oh, it's
super great. My friend did the art and the graphic design.
Awesome.
He knocked it out of the park. I mean, I have been yelling and hassling. Alex.
You've had a strange energy today. That's
yes,
for sure.
I have. But like, I have a copy of Sus and Citadel. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And like agnostic, weird, like non-ruleless things. Like, it's really cool that it's like a gorgeous, well-written book that like, hey, you might have trouble making stuff up. Here's a way to do that. Yeah.
There's a bunch of tables. You just roll
like
the dice and let the dice
I've,
decide.
I mean, also Gen Con's expensive, so I've purposely not left the booth.
Oh, okay.
So to like not spend money.
It was defensive working in the booth.
Yeah, you're like, oh, why are you working at the booth all day? It's like, so I don't go buy stuff.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well.
But no, like all the indie stuff, I edited 9th Levels, Pigeons 11, like their crime fighting.
That's right.
Their heist.
Bird heist.
Bird heist.
Bird crime.
Yes, bird crime.
I keep getting more and more pulled into the world of birds and like bird appreciation. So I'm excited for bird crime.
Yeah, it's just this year's been very weird to see things I did physically.
Yeah.
Like that's a weird sensation.
Well, but hopefully a good one.
Yes, a very good, very weird sensation.
All right. So if people want to hear more about you or get you to edit their books or write for their stuff, where can people get a hold of you?
Attendees, the time is now 4 o'clock. The exhibit hall is closed.
Hey!
We did it!
We did it!
Josh Heake on any social media stuff, and it's _Cogni on Instagram.
All right. I'm going to maybe clip that little turnaround a lot. Why don't you say that again?
Josh Heake on Facebook, social media, all that stuff. It's _Cogni, COGNI on Instagram. And I am not active on Twitter for a variety of reasons, so no Twitter.
Well, find him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, sorry. I'm not active on X.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh, for talking to me today. I hope you travel safe back to to your neck of the woods.
Thank you so much for letting me work with you guys.
It's been a pleasure. All right, it's the last day. It's the end of the con. I said all my goodbyes to the Free League folks, to the IGDN folks, and I think we're getting ready to pack up and load the car and get out of here. So it's been a real con. It's been fun, and now it's over. And till next year, happy Gen Con.